Hi, Sanjay. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. You got a little fur on your microphone.
That's so sweet of you to notice and tell me, especially on our first date.
Oh, wait. Are we talking about first dates or something?
Yes, but not ours.
Okay.
We're going to talk about first bad dates. Bad dates.
Okay.
Do you even have any?
I don't know. I'm going to have to think about it. I'm not sure. One comes to mind, but I don't know.
Immediately?
I have to think about other ones. Yes, one comes to mind.
Okay. One always comes to mind when people have asked me this in the past and we've talked about certain things. But then I feel like I've had many bad encounters. I don't know if you'd call them dates or not. Maybe, I guess, yeah. Okay, yeah, dates.
Were you asked out or did you ask somebody?
Twice I asked someone.
Okay, so that's more than an encounter then.
Well, in those twice times, it was kind of like an arranged, like...
So somebody had arranged you both to go out.
Yes.
That's a date too. Anyway, let's get to the dates then. I want to hear your first story.
Okay. I call them encounters, I guess. Encounters of the weirdo ones. No, just kidding. I'm a weirdo too. So anyways, what were you saying?
So let's get to the dates. Tell me about your first bad date. Your bad first date.
Okay, so the first bad date that comes up, it was when I was younger. I think.
I sure hope so. I hope it wasn't last week.
It wasn't last week. It wasn't last week. I remember I wasn't pursuing this person, and it's pretty evident afterwards that they weren't pursuing me, but we knew each other through our parents, and I think I asked him on a date. Oh, hello. Kyoto has a first date to talk about. Her first date of meeting Rome. Oh, let me get Rome. Hey, Romy. Remember when you met Kyoto for the first time and your nose touched? It was so cute.
Well, not according to Kyoto, because she's clearly saying it was a bad first date.
Okay, so it's really my memory is not like completely there, but I remember we knew each other mutually. We're from a similar area, and I think I asked him to hang out. So I pretty much asked him to out. I'm the one who. I don't remember. Okay, that's a very minor detail. Mm-hmm. And I remember, and I picked him up in my little BMW.
Okay.
It was in 2000, and we were going for a dinner and a movie, but I think something didn't work out, and we didn't go for the dinner. I don't remember eating with this guy at all, and I hate that. Like, I hate not eating. So maybe like it started off on a bad foot just because we couldn't have a meal together and I was probably hungry or something. That already sounds really bad.
So you didn't get your food, and that's the worst part of the date so far.
Yeah, my memory's so bad. This was such a long time ago. Okay, but what I do remember, the reason why it comes up as a bad date is we went for the movie. Do you remember Tom Green?
Yes.
And his humor?
Yes.
It's very specific, okay? And his movie was coming out, Road Trip. There's like a bunch of people in there. But back then, I wasn't really into it, and it was just so raunchy and like... So he's like, let's go watch a movie. And I wanted to go watch something else that was really cool out. And then he's like, let's watch Road Trip. And I'm trying to be the girl like, okay, We went and watched it, and it was so uncomfortable the entire time because we never got the chance to like sit down and be like, get to know each other.
Oh yeah, so like
we went straight into the movie.
So you're going to see like a raunchy movie with what's almost like a stranger, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And it was awkward. Like he was not making any moves. And I was so confused.
Wait, were you ready for moves during a raunchy movie with somebody that you've never been out with?
Like moves meaning like hand holding or like, hey, or like,
okay, so like,
want me to get you popcorn.
Is showing he's interested kind of thing.
Like
okay.
This simple, tiny, cute stuff.
Okay, got it.
And we just sat there, and I remember we were the only people in the theater, I think. If there were any people, very few. And we were done, and I dropped him off. And it was an awkward goodbye. And I remember texting a little bit, and then that was it.
Okay. So do you think maybe you guys were just not interested in each other?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That later, I think he just wasn't interested.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But then he would message, and I'm like,
I
why?
mean, this sounds like a typical somebody kind of set us up, or you were maybe encouraged to go.
Or I know my brain. I was very much like open. Like, hey, this is a cute person. Let me get to know this person if this could go somewhere. I was very open that way. Like, all right, let me see. Could this be something?
Yeah, but this sounds like a typical, okay, you were encouraged to go on a date together and things didn't click.
Yeah.
And you weren't interested in each other.
No. And then to this day, I've been in touch with his mom on Facebook. Such a nice lady. Like, she's so caring and such a sweet, nice lady. And they also made me perform a dance at his brother's wedding.
Wow, you're getting very specific now so that these people would really know who you're talking about.
I know.
I don't know if you want that.
It was so awkward. It was so awkward. I had no idea what the heck I was doing and why I was there. And I got a lot of compliments, but it was like, why? Like, is this guy interested in me or not? Like, why am I going through all these things to get to know his whole family if he's not interested?
I've had a similar date like that where I was encouraged to meet with somebody, go on a date. And throughout the date, I didn't feel like there was any compatibility. That ended up being our last date. I wouldn't say it was a bad date. We were both cordial. We made conversation, but there was no chemistry. So it ended after that first date.
How did it end? Did you ghost her?
No, we... I don't know if texting was around back then. This was a long time ago, but I think I tried calling her when I knew she wasn't available. Like, I think when she was at work, and I left a message.
What?
Yes, I'm pretty sure that's what I did.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, that's not too bad. I told her to call me back, and I think she actually
but
did.
You knew
I think
was
she
not
did.
available.
No, yeah, I know. But I think she did call me back. We did talk about it, and, she was fine. She was fine.
Well, I didn't talk to this dude about
All right, so that's your bad first date story?
No, I have more. That's my...
Can I get one in? Can I get one in now?
Yes.
You want to hear what bad first story?
Yes, and then I'll tell you my badder date after.
Okay. Should have started with that one. The badder first date. Let me tell you about mine. So I went to 4 proms in high school.
What?
4 proms, yes.
4?
Yes, I went to one prom when I was a junior, 2 proms when I was a senior, and 1 prom when I was first year in college. What
the heck?
Yes, one of these, I accompanied a young lady to her high school as her prom date, kind of as I shouldn't say as a favor, but I was being nice. A friend of mine said, "Hey, do you mind? She doesn't have a date. Can you take her?" So I'm like, "Okay, no problem." So I went on this. I went to the prom. The prom was great. No issues there. But when the time came to drop her off at home, so we were there on a double date. So a friend of mine and another girl that went to that same school were on this date. So we went inside her house to say goodbye. She said, "No, please come in. Come in." Oh. This is in high school, okay? I had no idea what I was doing, and it wasn't even. I had nothing on my mind that told me that she wanted something else, not just have a cup of coffee and leave. So
you were having coffee in high school?
I think I don't know, but anyway, coffee. But anyway, so we went inside the house and they put on a movie, and the 4 of us were there sitting on the sofa watching this movie. And it very soon became apparent that she had a lot more on her mind. Mind you, my friend and his date were in the same room, and this girl started getting very hands-on. And it started to get uncomfortable because I wasn't really interested in her in that way. She was nice. We had a good time at her prom, but I wasn't interested in that way. And she wanted to dive into the deep end right then and there. And I started panicking because I hadn't been in that position before. So
you were one of her, before I graduate goals of I need to.
I guess, or maybe it's that prom.
It's
that the prom expectations,
Yeah.
or people think that that's what's supposed to happen at prom,
Oh my God.
whatever it was. So I'm starting making gestures to my friend, like, let's go. We've got to go. He starts to see what's going on, and he starts to also like feel my panic. And
Wait, he wasn't into it?
well, he was with his date. I don't know what they were doing. I wasn't watching them, but I don't think the same thing was going on over there. But yeah, so I'm like, we got to go. So I'm trying to leave, and literally as I am walking out the door, she is pulling me back in her house, pulling my arm back in her house.
Oh, man.
I felt bad, but at the same time, this is the first time I've ever met her.
So awkward.
So expectations were completely different from the both of us.
Aw.
But my friend and I
Poor thing.
jumped in the car.
She's like, oh, I fell in love with this guy.
It wasn't love. She didn't have the look of love in her eyes.
Lust.
She had the look of lust in her eyes. And I was this scrawny little pimply high schooler at that time.
Okay, I've seen your pictures. He was not scrawny, pimply. He was so cute.
Okay, but
You were hot.
thank you. But I didn't think so. But anyway, we got in the car, and I was like, let's get out of here. And it was just nothing I expected. I did not expect that to happen on this date. And yeah, it was something I'll never forget, just because I think it was mainly because I was in high school. I had no experience with that stuff. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to say no, even all that stuff. And yeah, we got out
You
of there.
didn't know how to say no for many years. I've heard about his ex-girlfriend stories. And he didn't know how to say no.
Well,
or stop. Or I don't like it.
That was one first date that comes to mind.
Okay, you sharing that has brought up like more legit bad date stories in my head.
Okay.
Because I'm like scanning through, even though I was coming to you with this topic, I don't think I was prepared at all. And I'm not trying to prepare. I want it to be like just a conversation. Okay. There was, can I share two quick ones?
Sure.
One was I was in college, and there's this really, really cute guy. I don't want to like describe him, but he was shorter, so he had the whole like had to bring the personality and stuff, and but he was so cute, and I forgot where I met him, in some social something. He was a good singer, and he asked me out on a date, and I was like, screw it. Sure, I'll go. He seems really nice. And he wasn't my type at all. He had like a younger, cute, boyish look, like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, the guy from Third Rock from the Sun.
Okay.
And very that cute, boyish look, charming, whatever. So I was like, okay, let's go. So he comes to my dorm to pick me up. Dressed okay, but I don't know if he was out the night before. We met in the afternoon, by the way, for lunch. And he rolled out of bed, but his clothes smelled like he came from like a beer frat party. He was stenching of alcohol and beer, and he looked like he was hungover, and he was not cute to me anymore. And I was just like, oh my God, why? Like, why me? And he knew like my friends and stuff. So it wasn't like a complete stranger. It was like, oh yeah, this is a good idea. Go out with him. He smelled like beer the entire time. And then he was trying to sing again. And it was so bad. He was like, kind of all over the place. And I'm not a mean person. And I'm just like, all right, let's just go with it. And we walked to wherever we walked. I don't even remember. And had our meal. And the whole time I'm just thinking like, this guy is gone. Like, why would you come to a date drunk? Like, are you going to even remember anything? And then we walked back. So a little bit about me. When I go on these dates, I was always very guarded. Like, I was guarded. Like, I wasn't like, hey, come here. I was like, I'm going to scope you out and see, like, are you my type of personality? Like, are the conversations going well? Like, you're probably not going to get a first kiss on this first date, that kind of a person. And so when he was dropping me off, he like immediately leaned in to try to kiss me. And I was like, And I haven't done that. I have done that too, a lot of guys.
With that face and everything?
Not with that face.
Oh, okay.
I was just like, I don't kiss on the first date. And I don't have a rule like that. Like, I will kiss if I'm feeling the moment, but I'm not going in there with that intention. Mm-hmm. I did not want to kiss his beer. Like, you know, the pukey smell.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
It was in my nose. It was in my hair. It was like from the hug that he hugged me. So I would say that's one of the bad ones. Okay, that was not quick. Another one was, there was this really cute guy. Again, a Boston story. And he was a pre-med student, and I had seen him, and he had the name and the looks and everything like I thought.
The name?
Yeah. Like, I watched a lot of Bollywood movies.
The name have to do with
I had a lot
anything?
of Bollywood movies. I don't want to say the name, just in case. But
so you had a Bollywood movie name?
yes, he had a famous Bollywood movie name.
Okay.
And I was a very cheesy romantic Bollywood type girl, and I was like, he's gonna have this name, and he's gonna be like this. So this guy like did Bollywood dances. He was tall, like handsome, very smart, like all the things on paper. Okay, he was gonna be a doctor, like all the things on paper. We went out to. He took me to Uno's, and I was like, okay, Uno's. Yeah, sure. And as a college student, that was a cool restaurant. Like, that was like happening.
I like Uno's. I miss Uno's. We don't have one here. Yeah.
And he was late coming to the date. We walked down. I think he was taking the train or something. And he looked pretty cool. Like, he had like this racer jacket on and these really like 90s like blotchy jeans, like tight jeans that weren't really in fashion yet. But I was like, okay, cool. That can be something. And we walked down to Uno's and we sat there, and it was just dry the whole time. I kept trying to ask questions and, you know, get to know him. And it was just so bad. He was not interested. He was just, I don't know if he was not interested. But he was so, maybe he was not interested. Let me just be straight. Maybe he just wasn't interested. He was so like awkward in the sense of just, I felt like someone had forced him to sit there and make conversation, and he just didn't know how to answer certain things. And the only thing he would want to talk about is Formula One racing, which I was interested in. I love cars.
Maybe he had very specific, things that he wanted in a woman, and one of them was Formula One racing interest.
Yeah, and we talked about that a little bit, but it was just it was a bad day. I felt like I was the guy in that relationship trying to lead the whole thing, and I haven't left a date feeling that like insecure. I think there was like a little thing of like, I don't know, like I don't want to say arrogance or anything like that, but just that like, it was like I was not good enough for him to even talk to me.
Okay, so he made you
and
feel...
I was like, just made me feel so like in that, just the mood, and he wasn't warm or friendly, and and I'm just like, why are we on this date then? Like, why are we on this date?
Wait, I don't know if you covered this, but did he ask you out, or how did that happen? How did this date originate?
We met at a show, like an Asian night show, like a fashion show thing. Did I ask him out, or did he ask me out?
Well, there you go.
I don't remember.
You asked him out. Okay. Hey, nothing wrong with that. That's cool.
Oh, so that's why he was forced into.
You mentioned that.
He was forced.
You threw in that possibility.
Yes, he was forced. Yep. He was forced. Okay, we solved that case. Do you have one more? Because I have another one.
So check it out. So I took this girl out to a movie once, and so we went. And this is Scream, the original Scream, the first one. So we went to the movie, and Scream is, it's suspenseful. I don't think it's scary. It's kind of campy and funny as well. Maybe like about 20 minutes into the movie, she says, "It's too scary. I want to leave." She
girl.
wanted to leave.
Yeah, it's scary.
Scream is not that scary.
Back then, Scream was scary. Now, I'm not talking about Scary Movie, which is a comedic satire on Scream. We're talking about Scream. I remember going to see it and I was so scared. I could not go into bathroom stalls after that.
Okay.
Without thinking that if I hear something, a knife is going to go through my skull. Like
I think it was suspenseful. Anyway, so she was really, so when she said I wanted to leave, I didn't think she was serious. I thought she was joking and like, oh, I want to go. And she's just acting scared or something. No, she really wanted to leave. So we left. I had to take her home. That was the end of the date.
Nice. Good.
No,
and there was nothing else?
Kind of sad. No, that was it.
You wanted to get to know her.
Yeah, I wanted to hang out. I wanted to watch the end of the movie.
Girl, if you're watching this, you don't know what could have happened if you stayed for the movie.
Well, I mean, we had a couple other dates after
what?
that. But that was a weird first date. I mean, leaving in the middle of a movie and then ending the date right there. I thought, oh, wow. Okay. So yeah, that was another one.
Okay. I have left in the middle of a date before.
Okay.
Yes. There was this guy. Another matchmaker type thing where a young person was like, hey, why don't you take this guy to a dance and blah, 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 blah. And I had a lot of fun because you're just thinking, okay, I had no date. The guy I wanted to go to this dance with was not available and was being too cool. And so I was going to be the only person going solo, from all my friends. And I would have gone solo. I was like, all right, I'll go solo. But you don't want to go solo because it's like a holiday dance thing and it's like more romantic and stuff like that. And not only that, but everyone's taking couples pictures and all that, right? So anyways, someone I know was like, hey, take this person. He's really fun. He's cool, blah, blah, blah. I took him. He was really fun. And then that night, he pretty much fell in love with me and told me he fell in love with me.
Oh, the same night.
The same night. And it was magic. It was magical in the sense of like you're in a bubble and it felt like a movie type thing. But we didn't do anything and I didn't even I didn't know this person, right? I knew of him. So I'm just like, once again, my brain, oh, could this be someone that I should be getting to know? And maybe, so he invited me over to his place for our first date. Okay. And this was like a few days later or something. And I remember I had like classes all day and I had night classes too. So I was working, by the way. I was working 2 jobs when I was in college. And I was a little bit late because I'm walking 10, 15 minutes to this person's place. You're in Boston, you have to walk everywhere and it's like winter. So I was late and this dude freaking had this Indian guy, okay? I just have to say this because some Indian guys are so entitled and they think like life revolves around them. He was so pissed off at me. Like, where were you? So red flag. I'm very good at listening to red flags, by the way. I will not take shit. Red flag. Possessive? Much? Like, what? I've been waiting for you. I've been making food for you. And he was making these Indian packet foods. But it's college, so it was really good effort. It's nothing about that. But I'm like, okay, you're like heating up a packet, you're boiling it in a pot. Like, what the heck? And then so I immediately got scolded. And this is supposed to be like my first impressions of you. Like, what the heck? Yeah. And then not being compassionate. Like, okay, oh, you had classes all day, from morning to like late at night. Yeah. And you walked all the way over here to see me. And yeah, you're a little late. Yeah, my cell phone was off because I was in class. Like, where were you? Why weren't you picking up your phone? All these things that like should not be going on, should not even be a question. Instead, you should be like, oh, thanks for walking all this way in winter alone in the middle of this major city. I remember I was like, okay, let me just let him cool off. Like, maybe he's just having a moment. And I was I wouldn't even let somebody cool off. I'd be like, this date's over. I have been around all sorts of like big personalities and aggressive situations. So for me, it was very like, maybe he's going through something. Let me see how quickly this can change. Okay. So then what happened? Instead of just running away. So I remember sitting on the counter and he just kept going on and he threw his cell phone against the wall. And that was the moment I was like, okay, I mean, I was going to go, but you don't want to take quick actions either when someone's being like aggressive and stuff.
Yeah.
But that was the moment I was like, yeah, never gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like
you're looking
never.
for the door at that point.
Yeah, I got my stuff, didn't nothing. I was like, yeah, you're not talking to me this way. You're not over what? You know, like we're not nothing. We're nothing. So that was, I would say that's probably my worst bad date.
Wow. Okay.
Because of the aggressiveness and like the moodiness and all those other things. Anyways, hope whoever he's with now is happy and he's changed his ways and is a much fun and happy person like he was during that dance.
You want to hear a kind of sad first date that was, I think it was all my fault. This was actually, I think this may have been my first ever date. So I asked out this girl from high school and I couldn't go very far. I didn't have a car or anything like that. So I could only walk to some place to meet her. We met at a donut shop. And it was, I had this thing in my head about how it was going to be. And it was going to be, you know, I was going to be charming and I'm going to have interesting things to say. And none of that happened. I couldn't bring anything to the table.
Why? Because you were nervous?
I guess so. And you know, I'd never been in a date setting, so I didn't kind of know what to do. So it was like we had a little bit of conversation. I don't even remember what I said. I think I just remember not saying a whole lot. Definitely not saying enough to make it interesting or to make her interested. And that was the last date I had with her.
This sounds like the Uno date. Were you the guy that came to?
No, this was definitely donuts.
I think I have a few more bad date, bad like arrangement, you know, kind of stories, but they're more matchmaker stories. So maybe, I'm pretty sure you don't have matchmaker stories, do you?
I have to think about it. I might have one or two.
Maybe we could save that for next time.
Sounds good.
All right. If you've had a bad date, please leave a comment below. Share your bad date.
I want to hear the story. Tell us the story.
Hear the story. No names, locations. You don't need to do all that. I think I got pretty specific, like describing these people. But none of these people are in my life. So if you watch this, hey guys, no hard feelings. Blessings to you. Peace. There's only one Earth. Let's connect, share stories, and spread love.
See you later.